The galaxy was wide and quiet, but never still. Across countless star systems, alien civilizations carried on their business, unaware that a small, distant species was about to change everything. In the Council Observatory, a place where alien diplomats, generals, and scholars watched the universe's unfolding events, an uneasy tension filled the air. Chief Observer Valor, a tall, slender being with silver scales and bright, intelligent eyes, moved along the observation platform. His sensors tracked the movements of fleets and the signals of deep space communication. He had seen many strange events during his long life, but humanity, the species called Earth, had always been unpredictable. They were chaotic, emotional, and stubborn. Yet they had survived when others doubted them. Now, something was different. Across the galaxy, human fleets were mobilizing. The Council had received strange signals, transmissions from human command that were encrypted and deliberately difficult to understand. Unlike most messages from emerging civilizations, these were calm, clear, and precise. There was no anger, no plea, no hesitation. Just order. And the Council did not like order from humans. Valor approached the main viewing screen, which displayed the outer sectors near the border of neutral space. Thousands of human ships had appeared on sensors, moving in formation. The Council members murmured among themselves. None of them had ever seen a fleet move with such discipline. This is unusual, Valor said softly, more to himself than to anyone else. Humans do not move like this. A council member, a large, amphibious being named Trivak, huffed through his gills. Perhaps it is a bluff. A show of strength. They are small, weak. They have never fought anyone of true power. Valor shook his head. No, this is not a show. They are executing orders already decided. They move as one. Look at the formations. They are not just preparing to fight. They are ready. The council members fell silent. The screen showed human carriers, frigates, and scout ships moving in perfect, calculated patterns. Each movement was precise, efficient. Alien observers had seen impressive fleets before, but never like this. There was a logic to humanity's chaos, a sense of strategy that chilled even seasoned veterans of war. One of the younger council members, a winged alien named Leary, whispered, "They are organized. Almost too organized." "It is unsettling," Valor nodded. "Yes, humans are unpredictable. But when they act with purpose, they become something else entirely. Something the galaxy has not yet seen." While the council debated, human ships continued their silent journey through space. They were not aggressive. No weapons fired. No signals sent to warn anyone. Yet their presence alone caused unease. It was not the size of the fleet, though large, but the determination behind it. The council decided to send a signal. A simple demand for explanation. Alien diplomats contacted human command. Hours passed. No reply came. Some council members laughed, thinking it was rude. Valor, however, felt a cold unease. Silence from humans was not disrespect, it was warning. Night fell over the observation hall, though night for alien species varied in meaning. Screens displayed moving stars and fleets, and Valor stared at the human ships. He had studied humans for decades. He knew them to be bold, clever, and fiercely protective of their own. But this was something new. A sudden alert flashed on the main console. The human fleet was splitting into multiple groups, each heading toward different points along the border. Valor's eyes narrowed. He understood immediately. This was not just movement. This was a campaign, a carefully planned operation. "What are they planning?" Trivak asked nervously. "They are too small to matter. Even if they attack a colony, it will be insignificant." Valor shook his head slowly. "They are small, yes, but they are not attacking recklessly. Humans do not act out of fear. They act out of reason and determination." Their purpose is something they believe in, and they will not fail. That is what makes them dangerous. Lyri tilted her head. Dangerous? They are only human. How can a species so weak challenge the galaxy? Valor looked at her, his silver eyes serious. It is not weakness that defines humans. It is their will, their ability to endure, and their unwillingness to let danger touch those they care about. They fight, not for conquest, but for protection. And that is something the galaxy has never fully understood until now. Outside the observation window, the stars seemed to shift as the human fleet advanced. Alien council members whispered among themselves. Panic and curiosity mixed in their minds. Some suggested sending a warning fleet, others argued for observation only. But Valor knew the truth. The humans were not waiting for negotiation or approval. They were moving forward because they had decided something must be done. Hours later, the human fleet approached the first border outpost of a minor alien faction. The outpost had expected diplomacy, maybe a show of power, but not this. Humans arrived silently, calmly. Scouts emerged, hovering near the outpost's defenses. The aliens there watched in confusion, unsure whether to fire or communicate. Valor leaned closer to the screen. Notice, he said. The humans are not firing. They are scanning. They are calculating. They are waiting for a reason. And if one appears, they will act with precision. The alien council members began to murmur in fear. They had underestimated humanity for centuries. They had assumed that humans were emotional, reckless, unpredictable. But this was different. This was intelligence applied with willpower, efficiency combined with courage. A transmission finally arrived from human command. It was simple, short, clear, almost polite. We do not wish to fight, but we will defend. Step aside. Valor read the message aloud. The words seemed harmless, yet they carried a weight that made the entire council uneasy. There was no threat, yet the power behind the words was undeniable. Humans were telling the galaxy, "We are ready, we will not yield, and you will see the consequences if we are forced." Trivac's gills fluttered nervously. They are only words. Words cannot destroy fleets. Valor's eyes narrowed. No, but humans act on words, and when they act, they are unstoppable. The council debated late into the alien night. Some suggested caution. Others recommended preparation for conflict. Valor remained silent for most of it. Watching humans move across the screen, he had seen their history, their wars, their survival against impossible odds. He understood one truth clearly. The galaxy was about to learn something it had never fully realized. Humans were more than a species. They were a force of nature when roused. As the observation hall grew quiet, Valor turned his gaze outward. The human fleet moved steadily through the darkness of space. Stars reflected off their hulls. Silence surrounded them, yet their presence shouted a message louder than any cannon. Valor whispered to himself, almost as if speaking to the stars. They are coming. And when they do, the galaxy will watch in horror and awe. He knew this was only the beginning. The humans would not stop. They would not hesitate. They would fight when necessary. And they would protect those in need without question. This was humanity's power, hidden beneath a calm and ordinary surface. But now, it was visible to all who dared to watch. The first part of the story closed with the alien council realizing a terrifying truth. Humanity was not a species to control, negotiate with, or underestimate. Humanity was a species to respect, to fear, and perhaps, one day, to ally with, if they were lucky enough to survive the coming storm. And somewhere in the dark expanse of space, the human fleet moved silently, perfectly coordinated, ready to defend, ready to fight, and ready to show the galaxy exactly who they were. The stars seemed still, but in reality, the galaxy was holding its breath. In the Council Observatory, alien diplomats, generals, and strategists crowded around the glowing screens. Chief Observer Valor stood at the front, his silver eyes fixed on the distant human fleet. Hours had passed since humans first appeared near the border sectors, and now their movements had begun to reveal a pattern. The humans were no longer merely traveling, they were executing a plan, and the galaxy could feel the shift in the balance of power. "Watch carefully," Valor whispered to the council. "This is what I warned you about. Humans do not act recklessly, but when they move, the consequences are beyond prediction." The first engagement began in a remote system on the outer rim. Raiders' small, fast-moving alien vessels known for pillaging human colonies had gathered to intercept the fleet. They expected chaos, hoping humans would scatter under pressure. But humans did not scatter. They moved as one. The observation screen zoomed in. Humans deployed a formation that the aliens had never seen before. Large carriers in the center, smaller frigates and corvettes, surrounding them in perfect geometric patterns. Scout drones darted ahead, scanning every ship in the Raider fleet. Valor's tail flicked nervously. "Notice how humans act. They are not charging blindly. Each ship has a role. Each movement is calculated. They are protecting their people, and nothing else matters." Trivak gilled nervously. "It is only a minor Raider group. Surely, humans can destroy them easily. But why such precision? That is humanity," Valor replied. "They do not fight for glory. They fight for survival, for defense, and they are terrifyingly good at it." The Raiders launched the first attack. Small energy blasts flew toward the human formation, but each was intercepted with surprising efficiency. Human shields adjusted in real time. Defense drones moved instantly to neutralize threats. Not a single civilian ship was damaged. Alien Council members gasped. How? How can they react so fast?" muttered Leary. "They are only humans. They are weak." Valor shook his head. "They are not weak. They are resilient, adaptive, and brave. And when their people are threatened, they become unstoppable." The humans retaliated not with anger, but with precision. Targeting systems calculated angles, distances, and timing. Raider ships were disabled one by one, without unnecessary destruction. Many surrendered before a single shot could strike, confused by humans' efficiency and control. Valor's voice was calm but full of awe. "Look at that. They are showing mercy, but also power. They can destroy, but they choose not to unless necessary. That is a lesson many in this galaxy have never learned." Meanwhile, the Raiders panicked. They had expected chaos, expecting humans to make mistakes. Instead, humans acted as if they had rehearsed every possibility, as if the universe had always been waiting for this moment. Even the alien observers could not hide their shock. The battle spread across multiple systems. Humans moved in coordinated groups, each acting independently yet in perfect synchronization. Alien fleets tried to block them, hoping to slow their advance. Every attempt failed. Humans adapted faster than any alien technology could predict. Valor studied the humans' tactics. "They do not fight for revenge or conquest," he said quietly. "They fight for protection, for their colonies, for life itself. And that..." Council members whispered among themselves. Fear and respect mixed uneasily in their minds. No species had ever fought like this before. Humans were not bloodthirsty. They did not seek destruction, yet they were nearly unbeatable in defense of what they valued. In one system, a group of alien civilians had been trapped near a raider station. Humans risked their ships and soldiers to evacuate them. Even as raiders fired continuously, screens showed human vessels weaving and shielding, carefully saving every life without unnecessary risk to the aliens themselves. Trivak's gills quivered. They even save aliens? Why?" Valor's eyes glimmered. "Because humans do not fight for hatred. They fight for what is right. They protect life. All life. That is their strength, their power, and why the galaxy fears them." As the battle continued, Valor noticed another pattern. Humans communicated with each other not with words but with a form of silent coordination, signals, lights, and precise maneuvers. Even when separated by vast distances, human ships moved as though guided by a single mind. Leary whispered in disbelief. It is like they are one being, spread across the stars. Yes, Valor agreed. One mind, one purpose. But each human also has the freedom to act. That combination is what makes them dangerous. Not because they hate us, but because they love their own people fiercely. Hours turned into days. The raider fleets were crushed or surrendered entirely. Not a single human ship was lost. Yet every raider fleet was neutralized. The aliens watching the battle could not understand it. They had never witnessed a species fight with such precision, discipline, and restraint. The human flagship, a massive vessel called Aurora, moved into the center of a disputed system. It did not fire. It did not demand surrender. Instead, it sent a message: we will not harm you if you cease aggression. Leave civilians unharmed. Step aside. Valor felt a chill. The message was calm, polite, almost gentle. Yet every alien watching knew its meaning. Humans were capable of complete destruction. They could end fleets, systems, or even regions of space if provoked, and they would do it with terrifying efficiency. The raiders hesitated. Some tried to attack, thinking humans' words were bluff. Within moments, the humans disabled their weapons and blocked escape routes. The raiders had no choice but to surrender, not out of fear, but because they could not fight a species that acted with such intelligence and control. The council was silent. The observers could not hide their astonishment. Valor finally spoke, his voice low but firm. Humans are not cruel. They do not fight for power. They fight because they must, and because they choose to protect life. That choice makes them unstoppable. As the last raider ship powered down, a message appeared on the council screens. Humans had sent a signal to all nearby civilizations. We are coming for those who threaten life. We do not seek war, but we will act if necessary. The galaxy should know. Humanity fights for what is right. Always. Valor leaned back, his silver eyes reflecting the stars. He realized the full truth. Humans were not a minor species. They were a force that the galaxy had misunderstood for centuries. Their strength lay not in size or weapons alone, but in willpower, courage, and a determination to protect life at any cost. Council members whispered nervously. Some suggested alliances. Others recommended caution. All of them knew one fact. Humans were different. Far different than anything they had ever faced. Leary's wings twitched. They are terrifying, but not evil. Valor nodded. Exactly. That is what makes them truly frightening. They will fight, not for conquest, but for justice. And when they do, nothing in the galaxy can stop them. The human fleet moved on, silently, precisely, without haste or hesitation. Every action was deliberate. Every ship accounted for. Every life protected. Aliens could only watch, in horror and awe, as humanity revealed what they had always been capable of: order in chaos, mercy in power, strength in restraint. By the time the humans withdrew from the final battle, the galaxy had learned a new lesson. Humanity was not to be underestimated, not to be challenged lightly, and certainly not to be provoked. Valor looked at the remaining council members. This is only the beginning, he said quietly. If humans fight for themselves, they are strong. If they fight for others, the galaxy will watch in horror. The galaxy will watch in horror. And as the human fleet disappeared into the darkness of space, every alien present knew the truth. A new power had arrived in the galaxy. Not a conqueror, not a tyrant, but a protector. And that protector would not be denied. The galaxy had watched, silent and tense, as humanity moved through the stars with precision and purpose. For the alien observers, the first strikes had been a revelation. The humans were disciplined, fearless, and protective of life in ways no one had ever imagined. Yet even Valor, the chief observer, knew that the greatest test was still to come. The raider forces that had survived the earlier encounters regrouped in the Deltara sector, a region known for its asteroid fields and unstable star systems. Here, the raiders believed they could finally corner the humans. They gathered their ships, calling for reinforcements from nearby factions, confident that this time they could overwhelm the humans' relatively small numbers. Valor studied the situation on the observatory's screens. "They think the humans are isolated," he muttered, "but isolation does not exist for them. They fight as one. And their reach is greater than the galaxy believes." The alien council, still reeling from the first encounters, murmured in fear. They had underestimated humanity once. Now, they were about to witness what humans could do when fully committed to a battle. From the human flagship Aurora, orders were calm, precise, and clear. Every human ship received coordinates. Every pilot and captain knew their role. Not a single action was left to chance. And yet, there was no aggression. The humans were not seeking revenge. They were defending life, every life, not just their own. The first wave of the raiders attacked, launching missiles and energy blasts into the asteroid field. But the humans were ready. Shields flared in synchronized patterns, deflecting projectiles without any wasted energy. Interceptor drones darted out, neutralizing threats before they reached the civilian ships that followed behind the fleet. Valor leaned closer to the screen. "Observe. They protect even those who are not human. That is not weakness. That is strength beyond comprehension." Trivak's gills quivered nervously. "They are helping aliens? Even their enemies?" "Yes," Valor replied. "Because humans do not act out of hatred, they act out of protection. Their morality gives them strength." The battle intensified. The raiders tried to use the asteroid field to their advantage, weaving between massive rocks to hide and launch surprise attacks. But humans adapted instantly. Ships split, regrouped, and formed protective barriers around the vulnerable. Calculations of speed, trajectory, and timing happened faster than any alien mind could comprehend. Even Valor felt a chill. They fight like a single organism. Each part acts independently, yet perfectly in sync, and when danger comes, nothing stops them. Among the raider fleet, panic began to spread. They had expected chaos and fear from the humans. Instead, they faced calm determination. They were being outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and outlasted. Entire squadrons surrendered simply because they realized humans could predict their every move. The aliens observing the battle could hardly believe what they were seeing. Humans were not just a species of survivalists. They were strategists, protectors, and warriors with the patience of centuries. They did not attack recklessly, yet their defense was unstoppable. In the middle of the battle, a group of alien refugees, civilians from neighboring systems caught near the conflict, was trapped under heavy fire. Human ships moved without hesitation. Fighters dove into the heart of danger, shielding the alien ships while simultaneously disabling raider weapons. Some humans risked their own lives to physically protect the refugees, moving through debris and energy blasts with precise coordination. Valor's tail flicked nervously. They are risking themselves to protect others, even aliens. That is not courage alone. That is something the galaxy has never seen before. One of the young council members, Leary, whispered, "It is terrifying and beautiful. I do not understand it, but I cannot look away." As the humans rescued the refugees, the Raider Command attempted a desperate counterattack. Their fleet had regrouped and aimed to strike the human flagship. But humans anticipated every movement. The Aurora deployed a series of electronic countermeasures, drones, and precise energy fields that disabled the Raiders' weapons without harming a single ship unnecessarily. Within moments, the counterattack was neutralized. Valor spoke slowly, almost in awe. "This is the truth about humanity. They fight, not because they hate. They fight because they must." And in their fight, they will endure any danger, overcome any obstacle, and protect every life they can. The raiders had no choice but to retreat. Many surrendered outright. The Council had never seen a species that combined mercy with such overwhelming tactical superiority. Humans were not just fighters, they were teachers, showing the galaxy what discipline, courage, and morality could achieve in war. In the observatory, the Council members exchanged fearful glances. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. Now, they were witnessing not only human strength but also the reason behind it. Humans fought for life. Humans fought for justice. And the galaxy had no frame of reference for that combination. The human flagship sent a final message across the system. This battle is over. All who threatened life are neutralized. We do not seek war, but we will act to protect. Remember this. Humans fight not for power, but for what is right. Scintillard. Valor turned to the Council members. His voice was calm, yet carried weight that silenced everyone in the room. Understand this. Humanity is not cruel. They are not reckless. They are strong because they care. Their power is in their will, their courage, and their choice to protect life above all else. Trivak's gills quivered with a mix of fear and respect. We have underestimated them. For centuries we thought humans were weak. But they are not weak, Valor finished. And now, the galaxy knows. If humans fight for themselves, they are strong. If humans fight for others, the galaxy watches in horror. The human fleet withdrew from the battle zones, leaving systems secure and lives saved. Their ships moved silently. Yet every alien watching knew that humanity had left a permanent mark. Borders had shifted, alliances had changed, and every species realized a new truth. Humans were not to be underestimated, challenged lightly, or provoked. Leary stepped back from the screen, wings trembling. They are terrifying, but they are good. That is what I cannot understand. Valor nodded. Exactly. That is the essence of humanity. They are terrifying because they are capable of unimaginable courage. They are terrifying because they fight with reason, mercy, and strength combined. And they are terrifying because they will never stop protecting life. As the council hall emptied, Valor remained behind, staring at the fading dots of human ships moving through the stars. He whispered, almost to himself, "The galaxy will never be the same." And perhaps, for the first time in its history, a species fights not for dominion, but for justice. That is why they will endure, and why they will be feared and respected in equal measure. Unbound. 574. Hard. Undandan in Jandan. Undan. Somewhere in the quiet expanse of space, the humans continued their journey. They did not celebrate. They did not boast. Their ships moved with calm purpose, knowing that the galaxy had witnessed their strength but also knowing that their fight was never about conquest. Their fight was about life, justice, and the protection of all they valued. And across the stars, alien eyes watched in awe and horror. Humanity had revealed its true power not through rage, not through cruelty, but through courage, intelligence, and an unshakable will to defend life. The galaxy would remember this day. The Council would remember this species, and every civilization would understand one unchangeable truth. Humans were unlike any other, a force of protection and power that could not be ignored. Valor closed his eyes for a moment and whispered a final thought. Carrying across the empty observation hall, they fight for what is right, and that is a power greater than any fleet, any weapon, any empire. The galaxy has learned to fear and to respect humanity forever. The stars shimmered quietly. The humans moved on. The galaxy would never forget the day it watched humanity go to battle.